Hello, Aries. How are you? We are in Aries season, and I know everyone is feeling it. I had all my friends who are not Aries call me and be like, thank God it's over. So I'm here to do the weekly for the week of March 24th. Yes, nice. Tomorrow is my birthday. So happy birthday to all of us. Extra special for any of my Aries brothers and sisters on the 25th. Let's talk about the planets this week. And I'll just ask for cards for the week of the 24th for Aries. So Mercury goes direct this week, which is awesome. Because let me tell you, that it's my 12th house, so it's been reliving like hospital situations. I found myself surprisingly repeating a situation I had 4 years ago when I was in the hospital. And it's, when things repeat, they're never the same as they were the first time. So when I found everything was repeating exactly the same, I knew that they had the wrong diagnosis. Nice. And so I asked the doctors to look at everything again because they weren't listening. They weren't listening to my symptoms. They just read that I had this problem beforehand, so therefore it must be that again. And obviously I can't tell a medical doctor, no, that's not right, because retrogrades never repeat identically. So I just knew that their diagnosis was wrong, and I went to different doctors. And actually, I think what's going on with me is far simpler than what happened last time. So I will keep you posted on that. But so for any of you who are repeating situations from the past, just remember they're never exactly what they were. Can I have a card for March 24th, please? Week up for Aries. They're never identical. So if things are playing out, you're like, oh, I'm here again. A piece is different. Just find the different piece in there, and that's kind of going to be the turning point. And that you may find that turning point this week when Mercury goes direct. Now, two other things happen. Venus goes out of Aquarius and into Pisces. So we'll be a little bit less analytical about our feelings, but we're gonna go deep into the feels. Again, Venus and Pisces is really, be careful about the stray puppies that you bring home. That's, I find that most Aries have savior complexes, and Venus and Pisces, it only exacerbates that. So really just be careful about who you're saving, and this might be a moment where you want to save yourself. Now, on the 31st, Mars goes into Gemini. So that will, my thing, I have to look these up. That will loosen up some of the really slow trotting that we've been having over the last few weeks. Mars in Taurus is slow. Taurus, my ex-husband's a Taurus, and man, getting him off the couch was tough. Unless he wanted to do something, and then unless it was nature related, So whenever Taurus is nature or food related, it moves fast. But when it's anything else, it's got to go step by step. So we've been moving slowly in there. Mars is going to go into Gemini on the 31st. So you'll start seeing some good communication around any situation that you have going on. So you'll start to get some information in. Now, between the 28th of March and April 10th, all of the planets are direct. Jupiter goes retrograde on the 10th of April. But between the 28th and the 10th, all planets are direct. So if you're working on anything, or you have a situation that's been slightly stalled because of this Mercury or the retrograde, can I have 3 cards, please, for the week of March 24th? Okay. That is the time to, look at all those men. Okay. Well, good. One's walking out. Look at those 2 sevens. Okay. 3 sevens. Wow. Nice. What was I saying? Yeah, so between the 31st and the 10th is really when you want to put focused energy into moving anything forward. Now, another thing to consider is that Pluto is on the south node right now in Capricorn. And so what that means is that you'll have a lot of old stories, beliefs, patriarchal things, men, or also identifications, you know. So if you are considered to the world to be a banker, or if you are considered to the world to be a doctor or a failure, you know, whatever the outside world identifies you with, those are coming up now for regeneration. So there may be a death and a rebirth about some sort of title around how you're seen in the world. It depends on where your Capricorn house is. And that will, you know, look in your chart to see what the stage is of that regeneration. But over the next 10 days, there's also some element of the past that's coming up to die and be reborn. And there will be an energy that gets transmuted. So don't be afraid about things that are changing. Like if there's suddenly something from the past that's dying, it's just turning into something else right now. And you know, that takes time, as all expansion does. But let those things walk out. You know, that's what the sevens, look at these 7 stories here, is that some sort of seed that's been planted is going to be walking out of your life now, but it's going to be moving forward into something else. So just keep your head cool and wisdom about it. You kind of want to be a little bit stoic about things that, you know, you may have invested a lot of time into also and have been waiting to come, waiting to flourish, and those are just going to disappear. But you see, they transmute. Sorry, now I said I was going to read the other ones, and I will, but you see how those 7s transmute? This is kind of like that Pluto energy right there. It's like, it was this, and, you know, Pentacles, earth sign. So it was this, it turned into this, and now it's turning into this. So whatever you think you may have like invested a lot of time and energy, and you thought it was going to flourish into some beautiful garden, and actually it ended up dissipating into air. That's cool, because that's leveling up. You remember the 7, this is major arcana, these are minor arcana. So this guy rules these guys. So this sort of lower earth story turns into a much bigger story. So don't worry about things that seem to be not going your way. Just give it some, like, be really chill, breathe, be really chill, and face it with a little bit of, so it's like wait and see attitude. It's like, okay, well, hold on, let me see what this turns into before I decide that this is a nightmare. Because actually what it's really doing is opening you up for something bigger. So let me just do a quick look at these, and then I'll come back and talk about the rest. Okay, so this card, obviously it's about expansion, but it also, the head of the card says, when you believe it, you'll see it. Now this card here is the card of limitless. And so what they're both asking you to do, as well as this breathe card, because you see this person is surrounded by the universe. So these are very much, anything you want is possible for you right now. It starts in your thoughts. And so actually this was something I was thinking before I came online. Also, this is a card of nourishing, and I want to talk about that. You have to pay attention to what you think, you know, and we say a lot in the spiritual world, about our thoughts, but it is also scientific. Your brain, it is not capable of distinguishing that which is good for it and that which isn't. It's a data processor. And so you tell it which information to process, and you tell it which existence you want it to lead, excuse me, by the thoughts that you feed it. So anytime you think positive thoughts, your brain says, okay, cool, yes, we believe this is possible. And when you tell it, no, I don't think I can, your brain is like, oh, okay, I can't. So be very, very mindful of what you feed your brain. Be very mindful of your thoughts. Now, as I said, this card here is the card of nurturing. And I talked about how the South Node is important this week because of the conjunction with Pluto. But we also have to remember that the North Node is then the opposite. So while things are coming up to die and be transformed and that energy be regenerated, the way you want to kind of get through that is through nurturing. The North Node is in Cancer, and why that's a little bit tricky is because the North Node is ruled then by the moon. And since the moon changes signs every 2 to 3 days, the path to our destiny does as well. And so we sort of have to follow where the moon is at to know what the clues are to getting through that. But what this says here is to be very mindful of nurturing your thoughts and nurturing that which you surround yourself with. So if you have people around you that are not helping you nurture your dreams, are not helping you to move forward, let those people go. Anytime you have a Seven of Swords energy around you, you want to get rid of that person as soon as possible. Like as soon as you can recognize someone who's jealous, someone who is trying to undermine you, or someone who's got an ulterior motive. You know, this is the card that shows up all the time whenever you're dealing with a narcissist, and I did a separate video on that. But you can recognize them by the doubt. Anytime they plant seeds of doubt, that's someone you want to get away from you. You know, and there's a difference between doubt and constructive criticism. You know, I have a friend who is a Sagittarius who's very much straight, blunt, to the point. Like when I'm doing something that I ask his advice on, he doesn't pull any punches and he'll tell me the truth. And sometimes I don't enjoy it, you know, because I'm an Aries. I don't like to make mistakes, and I don't like other people's criticism. But I know it's coming from a constructive place. He's not trying to say it to seed doubt in my mind. He's trying to push me to my next level. But then there are also other people who, when you tell them your ideas, they do those little subversive comments. It's like, well, are you sure you can do that? Are you sure you're capable? Are you sure you want to? Are you sure this and that? So when those questions come up, you know, it's fair. You can't control. The only person who controls how the narcissist affects you or how somebody like that affects you is you. So be very mindful of nurturing what goes into your brain, because you're in a huge phase of expansion right now and moving forward. And you don't want to trip up on someone who's bringing you 7 swords. You want to really just get rid of them, like that, out. So pay attention to how people talk to you this week. Remember, like I said, there's also Venus in Pisces, so we can easily fall for this kind of shit this week. Don't. When somebody starts seeding doubt or starts tapping your energy or sucking the life out of you, just get away from them. Make sure you nurture your energy, nurture your thoughts. And if you have to take some time, space away from people who are not helping you get to your next level, then you must remove them from your energy field right now, because they will get in the way of your expansion. Okay, that's it. Have a great week, and I will talk to you again soon.